Our first guest is the former governor of Massachusetts and also a potential candidate in the 2012 presidential election. This is a new book right here entitled No Apology, The Case for American Greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mitt Romney. Oh, my God, you're handsome.
You say that to all the guys, don't you?
You know, now here's something. When I was a kid, I'm from Indiana, and I remember your father, the governor of Michigan, George Romney.
Exactly.
How many terms was he the governor of Michigan?
3 terms in Michigan.
3 terms.
Yeah.
Tell me, and it made such an indelible impression on me as a kid, and I don't know why. What do you remember about your dad being the governor of Michigan? For a kid, what was that like having your dad as the governor?
Well, you know, he was like anybody's dad. I didn't know he was different than other folks, but
right.
He grew up kind of poor, never finished college, became an auto executive, actually ran a car company. They made Ramblers and Jeeps, and then he...
This is AMC we're talking about.
AMC. And then he, late in life, decided to run for office, ran for governor, and won. I was surprised he did that, but, you know, it was a terrific thing. The guy, it was unique because he'd not spent his life in politics, but in business, and I think because of his character and integrity, he was well known for a number of years.
And looking at his legacy now and remembering what you can, a popular figure in politics in Michigan?
Very popular, and actually very touching. Some 30 years after he was governor there, he passed away. He'd served in the Nixon administration as a cabinet member. He ran for president, lost in the primary to Richard Nixon, but came back at his death, was brought back there for a funeral, and people lined the streets with little flags and waved. I was very moved, very touched. Yeah. An extraordinary man.
And so his interest in automobiles and politics, and certainly you have cut a nice figure for yourself in politics. What about autos? What about cars?
Well, you know, I love cars. You grew up in Detroit. You love cars. You love American cars.
Did you have great cars as a kid?
Everybody around me did. I mean, you know, if your dad's head of Studebaker, guess what? You're going to get a Studebaker. and so my dad was head of Rambler. So, you know, my friends were driving Camaros and Mustangs and GTOs, and I had my mom's station wagon, a Rambler station wagon. And it was not real cool. My parents didn't think it made sense for any of their kids to have a car in high school. But when I went to college, my dad said, okay, you can get your brother's car. He handed down the 1963 Rambler Classic. It was turquoise. That I could not deal with, so I painted it white. I went to Earl Scheib, what it was, $29.95. They painted it white. I put on a blue racing stripe, and I took a decal from a Dodge Hemi engine, and stuck it on the side of the front bumper there. Yeah. You can try and be cool.
Look out, chicks. Yeah, but I mean, that's interesting. You mentioned Studebaker, and not so long ago, in time, generally speaking, there were far more car companies in this country than just the 3 we're more or less left with now, weren't there?
Yeah,
you had
very
AMC,
sad.
You had Studebaker, and
Packard.
Packard, yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah, they're all
it looks
gone.
Like some others are having some difficulty too.
Yeah.
Although Toyota's given them a bit of an edge, you know, opportunity.
Now, what is going to happen now to Detroit? And everybody says, oh, they have to reinvent themselves, and the American car has to reinvent itself, and on and on and on. Looking at American-produced automobiles 20 years in the future, what are we looking at?
Well, they're going to be there, strong and adding jobs instead of shedding jobs, if they've done the right thing through this bankruptcy process and gotten rid of the excess costs that they have. There's no reason we can't compete with everyone in the world. The engineers and the designers and the people at Ford and Chrysler and GM have really done extraordinary things, because they've been burdened with about a $2,000 per car penalty. And even though they have that big penalty, they've been able to come out with cars like the Chevy Malibu and the Ford Mustang and the Chevy Silverado, cars that are really competitive even at the same price point as their competition, but $2,000 lower cost.
And everybody says that Ford has done a pretty good job of husbanding their resources. What has made them more successful now?
Well, Ford has had a very strong chief executive officer that has been relentless in bringing out new automobiles and pursuing a high-quality strategy, and that's allowed them to get a jump on GM. But, you know, I look at the cars now. I'm not a pro in the market anymore, but I look at the cars GM is coming out with. I think they're going to get a big boost again. So who knows what's going to come from Chrysler.
What do you drive? What's the family car?
I drive a Ford Mustang, and Ann drives a, oh, yes, yes, oh, yeah. And Ann drives a Caddy station wagon.
Oh, you guys aren't kidding around, are you? I have two things before we go to a break here. First of all, I remember you were coming, you saved the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics, and then you were up in Vancouver, and you're coming back from the Vancouver Olympics, and a guy beat you up on the plane. Do I have this right?
Not exactly
Okay,
right.
well, fill in the details here.
Well, there's not a lot to add. The fellow in the seat in front of my wife put his seat back during the takeoff procedure, and as we've all heard 10,000 times, please put your tray table and the seat back in the upright and locked position.
Exactly.
And so I tapped him on the shoulder and reminded him of that direction, and he became somewhat agitated, and they removed him from the airplane, and he didn't like that, by the way, and gave me a good swat, and he broke my hair.
He broke his hair, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Mitt Romney, everybody. Broke your hair.